like me better when I wasn't yours. I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back, I'm going back to who I was before.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Starting the video out looking a little crazy, but it's okay because we won't by the end of the video. As you can see by the title, by the end of the video, we are going to look at a Victoria's Secret angel, and not just any Victoria's Secret angel. I'm talking that like early 2000s, somewhere between 2000 2010 Victoria's Secret angel. Why, you ask? Because if you haven't heard, today is what they are calling the Super Bowl for women. They are having the Victoria's Secret fashion show. Now, they brought it back last year after suspending it in 2020. I want to say it was at that like COVID time where they announced they would not be doing the Victoria's Secret fashion show anymore. And at the time, I feel like a lot of people were just kind of like, okay. Now, there were people who were upset because it's like tradition at that point, right? But I feel like there were a lot of people who were like, okay, because that was around the time where it was giving Victoria's Secret was kind of falling off a little bit. They have filed for bankruptcy a couple times, have they not? And at the time, they were being called out, especially after that whole thing with Nikita Dragon and You Can't Sell the Fantasy. They were being called out for not being body inclusive, for not including different skin tones of models, and not just the models that they were using to market their company, right? People calling them out for selling this kind of unrealistic idea of what women are supposed to look like. But the actual pieces that they were selling, people were pointing out, are not inclusive. You know, it's kind of like a running joke that you can only fit one titty in a bra from Victoria's Secret. So, you know, they announced that they would not be doing the fashion show anymore, and then they kind of rebranded. But then after the rebrand of the actual clothes and the advertising, people were still upset because now it was giving a little like lackluster. Now it would just kind of look like, and see, that's the thing, I've spoken about this before. People say they want inclusivity, they want this, they want that, da 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 da. But when Victoria's Secret said that, you know, they are trying to sell a fantasy, they're trying to sell a dream, they were absolutely correct. And that is actually what a lot of people want to be done. They want to be sold something that is not realistic to them. And that's, you know, something like that's a conversation for like therapy on why. But it's true. When they rebranded and they started giving people what looks more like their everyday life, right? I mean, for the most part, you're probably not wearing a bedazzled blue bra to work, right? Blue bra. Anyway, or, you know, like green, stuff like that. But they gave muted skin tone looking bras and underwear, stuff you could wear every single day, but that wasn't good enough. That's not what people wanted. And then they gave it on models who were more inclusive, models who, you know, look like the more everyday woman, but that's not what people wanted. They started saying, where is the Victoria's Secret that I grew to love? What happened to the glam? What happened to the glitz? And then they brought the show back last year, and there were like mixed reviews. Like I said, people were like, it doesn't look like the early 2000s type of show that we were looking for, blah, 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 blah. Now, here's where people start to lose me on this conversation, because, you know, once you start talking about they should have stuck with the models that they had, they don't need to include other body types, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, why not? Why not? Because all Victoria's Secret had to do was just take the glitz and the glam that you had in the 2000s and put it on the models that you're using now. And then that's the best of both worlds. The people who would be still upset because all the models are not, you know, a size 0 anymore, you would just have to get over it. But other than that, there would be nothing for, you know, normal people to complain about. So hopefully they'll do that in today's show. Just add the glitz and glam that made you Victoria's Secret to the roster that you have now. If you guys have not heard, Angel Reese has been included in that roster. And again, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you start losing me because people who, baby, Victoria's Secret execs would laugh you out of the room if you walked in there, are getting on Beyonce's internet talking about some Angel Reese doesn't belong there because she doesn't fit the model look. She doesn't look like, who does? If the 6'3" professional athlete with a professional athlete's body does not fit the look, who does? But get my little rant out the way. But having the show comes back, it does kind of bring back that feeling, especially if you've been on the internet for a good little minute. Do y'all remember, like, back in the day, I think like 2015, 2016, 2017, after a Victoria's Secret show, like waking up the next day on YouTube and you get the hair tutorials, you get the makeup tutorials, all of that type of stuff. Like, it brings back that type of joy. And listen, the times that we're living in right now, we need all types of joy, okay? All types. So by the end of this video, we will be looking like a 2000s Victoria's Secret angel. So let's go. So if you're looking at me and you're like, Shanygne, what's the difference between like early 2000s Victoria's Secret angel and like, you know, like let's say last year's Victoria's Secret angel? You know, everything has evolved, right? Hair has evolved. Makeup has evolved. The makeup last year was giving what makeup looks like now. And people definitely wear more makeup now, right? So early 2000s, Victoria's Secret Angel, stuff like that, it was giving like your skin, but better. It was giving, you know, soft makeup, girly, very, right? Now it's somewhere between like a clean girl, but also like full-faced baddie, somewhere like that. But I'm going for that like soft, pinkish, girly makeup that we knew the Victoria's Secret angels for back in the day. And also the hair, like the hair last year, no, again, remember those tutorials of all the big bouncy curly hair, whatnot? But mind you, I'm gonna have bangs today because I'm not in the mood for that. But other than that, so there will be a big emphasis on skin today and glowing. And I mean, I'm gonna still have a full face of makeup on, but it won't be heavy makeup. So this is the, even though I have already moisturized, this is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. This is really good under makeup. And again, just want to make sure there's an emphasis on like hydration on the face, because I will have to use a little mattifying. Okay, so primer today, a little interesting. Of course, the Danessa Yummy Skin in the universal shade, just for that blurring effect all over my face. Was talking and the camera wasn't even recording. And then I'm gonna take the Danessa Yummy Skin Glow Serum. And y'all know I don't wear highlighter anymore, but again, we're doing emphasis on glowy, just hydrated skin looking finish. So I'm going to take the Glow Serum in Juice Boost, and I'm gonna put that in the places where you would put highlighter and just where like light hits your face. And then the last primer is this Maybelline Grippy Serum. You know, the skin, it's just skinning. I mean, I am still having that reaction that I told you guys about the other day, but if we don't pay attention to that, skin is still skinning before we put the makeup on. Okay, eyeshadow will be so easy today because eyeshadow is gonna be so easy today that we're only using our fingers to apply it, and there's only 2 shades. Again, we're going for a pinky look, but also it has to be a pinky look that'll make sense for my skin tone. So first up, I don't remember the name of this brand. I don't remember it. And it's just, well, this is a blush shade actually, but this is the shade Apricot. If you recognize the brand from the packaging, can you remind me? Because the little logo is not helping me. So I'm gonna take that shade, build it up on my finger, and then and I feel like I was just telling y'all how I have those Patrick Ta Major Dimension eyeshadow duos. So I'm gonna take, what shade are you? Do You Know Who I Am? And then, ooh, not, this would technically the top shade, if you're holding it the correct way, the top shade over that. Build that up on my finger. Added a little baby liner, and now we're gonna move on to foundation. So for the skin today, again, we're going for glow skin-like foundation. So I'm doing a combination of the NARS Light Reflecting and then the Makeup by Mario SurrealSkin foundation. I'm not gonna underpaint today, so blend that out. For concealer, I actually didn't know what concealer to go with today. So we're just gonna go with Fenty. I'm pretty sure that's not the concealer I should have gone with, but we're here, so just gonna blend that out. Okay, now before I set my concealer for blush today, we're going for like a brownie pink, something like that. So this is from Jane Iredale. This is their shade Sunset. So I'm gonna go in with this, which is a powder blush. Ooh, that was a little too much, but just blend that in. To set my under eye, I'm gonna take Peachy Pie from HUDA Beauty. I went back and added a layer of Cherry Blossom to my powder as well. So we're gonna skip kinda contour and go over to bronzer, but it's like, I'm kinda not, because I'm using this Patrick Ta, what are you called? Cream contour and powder bronzer duo. I'm just gonna mix the two shades. This is She's Defined, but like I'm not gonna like carve in with contour and then go in with bronzer. I'm just gonna again, I'm gonna have bangs, so, but you know, get the forehead anyway. Okay, so wipe that powder away. Wipe while also kind of pushing in. And then this One Size Bouclé Silk in Dark Deep as my pressed powder to set my under eye. I was actually gonna do a video specifically on this today, but then I remembered the whole Victoria's Secret thing, so that's why I switched it up. But I do have a like dedicated video to this product because I have thoughts, because the girls are saying things about this and I'm not necessarily sure I agree. So that'll be a different video for a different day. Now, powder melts from One Size. Then I'm gonna take this NARS liquid blush in Orgasm. Remember I said we're going for like a pinkish, brownish type of blush today. And this is why I was emphasizing like hydration and glowy skin before, because I'ma still use the Danessa Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm, even though like technically it's a little bit mattifying, because at this point I'm like, I just can't not include it. So, you know, you gotta find a nice balance with everything else that you use on your face that it can still look like skin, it can still be glowy, but like I'm gonna still use the products that go do what they need to do, because something about this, I'm telling you, crack in a bottle. And I kind of sandwich that liquid blush in between those two setting sprays. And then my final setting spray, I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Power Grip Dewy setting spray. Okay, now to finish my face, last thing are going to be the lips. And I feel like that might be one of the hardest parts, because it's gotta be like the right pink that goes with the like peachy brownness that I got going on. So I told y'all I bought the Win Beauty lip liner. This is in the shade Overcome. And it's like a burgundy brown. And I'll also be mixing that with what are you? You are Laura Mercier's Brown Tulle. All right, y'all, I was gonna do the whole like, you know, curling the wig and whatnot, but no one told me that styling bangs would be that annoying. Oh my God. More power to y'all, to the people who actually have bangs and have to style them every day, because I about gave up. If you couldn't tell, I about gave up. But you know what? I feel like it's like early 2000s Naomi. The bangs, the hair, it's there-ish. I feel like if early 2000s Angel is what I was going for, that's what we have. Like I said, soft makeup look, hair is a little questionable, but face is tea. Face is tea. I don't know about the hair. Face, yes. So, part them wings. Maybe I need to split the bangs, is that it? No, I don't know. See, look, it was something that I was somewhat happy with. Now I done played. Now I'm gonna get it together. But everything that I used will be in the description down below. But yeah, everything that I use will be in the description down below. Let me know if you guys will be watching tonight. If you are, I might, what do you call thread? Like when you thread? Y'all know the app Threads? You know how when you're on Twitter, you tweet? What do you call threads? I might thread through it depending on what I see. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you will be watching. And yeah, make sure 2 thumbs up, comment, subscribe, notification bells down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Now I need to go fix the bangs again so I can get a thumbnail.